Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Animals and Ames. My name is Ron Edwards. I'm the Animal Control Supervisor here for the Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control Program. Our first guest with us here today is Snuggles. Snuggles came into us just 2 days ago as an owner-surrendered cat. Unfortunately, the family is going through a divorce, and Snuggles was the one that doesn't have a home now. As the family's trying to figure out what they're doing in their lives, Snuggle was surrendered here to us to try to find a new forever home. Snuggles is what we consider kind of almost a medium hair, not real long hair, but definitely a longer hair than a short-haired cat. But his beautiful white coat here, he's actually in pretty good shape. There's not many, I don't feel any mats here. And that's the important thing with these long or medium haired cats. It's very important that they're brushed constantly. And you can tell he is just loving this attention here. And I'm sure if I had a brush, he would just be really enjoying that touching and comforting. So Snuggles is a beautiful cat. We're really hoping to find Snuggles a home very soon. It's always a difficult situation when you come from a home. Snuggles is 9 years old, so he's lived with that family for a very long time, and unfortunately things just didn't work out. So Snuggles is looking for a new forever home. We're just kind of getting to know him, but I can tell you that he is just a very special kitty. Some of the cats, when they first arrive at the shelter, take them a few days to even adjust to this environment. And from the minute that he got here, he came right out of the carrier and has just been, very loving, just a sweet cat. So we think that he's going to fit in really well and adjust to a new home pretty quick. You can probably hear him here. I'll stop talking for a second, see if we can hear him. He's got a heck of a motor on him, so he's really just purring and very content. But again, this is not an environment where we want them to live. We just want this to be a temporary stop until they find their forever home. So if you're interested in looking at Snuggles and meeting him, he'll be actually up here in our kitty playroom, kind of enjoying the extra space right now. So if you're interested in meeting him, come on down to the shelter and we'd love to introduce you to him, and maybe he'll be a great fit for your home. Okay, and our next guest today is Basil. Basil is also the same rabbit, as you may remember from a previous episode of Animals and Ames, as Romeo. Romeo was adopted from the shelter here, and unfortunately the adopter could no longer care for him or didn't want him. We're not sure what the circumstances were, but they gave him to someone else. That person could not care for him, so he was brought here to the shelter, which is the right thing to do. If you cannot care for a pet here in our community in Ames. So Basil is a sweet bunny. Again, we're not sure what the circumstances were. It may have just been a life situation that they could no longer care for him. But he's a pretty gentle bunny. As I always talk about with our bunnies, we want to make sure that they're getting the appropriate diets, that they have an appropriate environment that they live in, the cage that they live in. Typically we recommend that they have exercise pins, and you've also seen that in a previous episode of Animals and Ames. The setup that we have here at the shelter is really what we'd recommend for these guys. They do need a lot of exercise, a lot of space to run and play. So it's very important that they're provided with the appropriate environment. A lot of information can be found on rabbit.org. It's an amazing website for people who are thinking about adopting bunnies. And are considering adding one of these to your family. They are special needs. They do require the special diets and housing, as I indicated. There's also a limited number of vets that provide vet services to these guys. So it's very important that you have that information, and we provide that during the time of the adoption as well, so you'll know where you can get these guys treatment if they need it. It's always very important to know where your resources are. If an emergency comes up or you have something to deal with with them, excuse me. So Basil is what we're calling this guy now, so we think he needs a new identity, but again, it is Romeo. So we're looking for, trying to find a forever home that's going to take care and love Basil for the rest of his life. Again, whatever reason it didn't work out with the first adopter, we want to make sure that this next adoption is going to be a forever home. So if you're interested in adding a bunny to your home, come on down and meet Basil. He's an American Lop. We do believe he's younger. We've already had him neutered, so he's ready to go to a new home immediately. So come on down and meet him. We'd love to talk to you about him. And our final guest today is Teo. Teo is a very, very active puppy. He's about 7 months old now. Teo was actually surrendered to us on September 16th, so he's been with us for a while and still needs a lot of work. But when Teo came in here, he was missing most of his hair back here. He was in really bad shape. He was owner surrendered to us and just really needed a lot of care. So we're very, very fortunate with the help of our donors and everybody. We were very fortunate to be able to help Teo and give him all of the love and care and medicated baths and everything that he needed. He is a very, very active puppy, so he needs a lot of training. We believe he's probably not housebroken. If he would stay like this, it'd be great. Yeah, spoke too soon. So he needs a lot of training. He's not housebroken, so we need to get him housebroken. So he really needs a dedicated adopter who is going to give him a lot of time, a lot of patience, because he's going to have, he has so much energy, especially being here in the shelter this long. He does get out for playtime every day. But it's really going to be important that he finds an adopter that's going to give him all the training that he needs and that patience again to make sure that he's thriving in the new environment. So again, we're looking for a very experienced adopter. We think he's some kind of shepherd something mix. We're not entirely sure. His ears, as you see, do come up and stay up every once in a while. When he's curious as to what's going on or when he hears something. But I guarantee you he's going to give you lots of kisses and lots of love as you're working with him and spending time and training him. So if you're interested in Teo, we are accepting applications on him. Want to make sure that we find the best home for him possible because it is going to be a lot of work. He's not a dog that's going to thrive in an apartment situation. We want a situation where he'll have a fence where he can run and play in the yard. But of course, we want him to be an indoor dog. So he's not going to be adopted out to a home where he's going to live outside. So that's just not going to be fair to this guy. He's been through so much. We want to make sure that he gets the best home possible. So if you are interested in meeting Teo, come on down to the shelter. We'd love to introduce you to him and show you just what a bundle of joy and energy he can be. That's our show for today. We showed you one dog, one cat, and one rabbit. Remember that there are others available for adoption. Always keep an eye on our website, which is amesanimalshelter.org. You can click on the various links there and see information about the shelter. You can see the animals that are here available for adoption, and also those stray animals. So if you lost a pet, you can click on the links, look at the lost pets at the shelter, and you can see if maybe your cat or your dog or maybe your bunny was picked up. So keep an eye on that website. It's updated every 15 minutes. So anytime an animal comes into the shelter, you're going to see it on the website in 15 minutes. I want to thank everybody for watching, your continued support, all of our donors, and all the people that come here to adopt the animals at the Ames Animal Shelter. Thank you.